Hey kids, nothing but professionalism here. How you doing, Rory?
Oh yeah.
You with us?
I'm doing good, my friend. I am here today.
All right.
Yes, was
yeah.
somewhat absent before.
All right. Well, let's see what we get here. Fred's with us. Fred, you good? You had a good day yesterday? All right. Cool. I was just in a panelist. I was just in a panel for a UI conference. Just finished,
Oh, yeah.
so I've been normally I get a little more time to prep, but not today. So let's just go right in here. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do, but we'll allow our notes to guide us. This is a bug we fixed yesterday, just at the end. So let's get rid of that. Rolling only extra dice. We got rid of this inner exception, and I feel like we did a pretty good job solving that, or at least I think we at least solved 80% of this. Announcer told us nat 20 skill checks are wrong. I think we fixed this as well. So we're working on the sounds, the announcer sound. So if I come into our saving throws, let me bring up the stream deck, switch over here to the main show. And so we go into saves and checks, and then we decide which characters we're going to roll the saving throws for. Let's do just one. We'll just do Lady. We'll do a skill check. And if she gets a nat 20, it would be probably won't get a nat 20, but you'll see what's happening here.
Okay.
16 success.
So what's happening is we're saying the name, whatever it is. We're giving the plus offset as well. I'm not sure what Lady's skill check is on this. Hold on a second. Let's go look at Lady. And do I have two of these up? Got two of these up. I thought things didn't go well when I had two of these up. Let's go with one and see if we're still good. All right, so Lady's got like a +4 on intimidation. So if we do an intimidation spell check for Lady.
Okay.
Intimidation.
Intimidation. 5 + 4 failure.
That's what it sounds like. So it's not bad.
That's good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, all three elements. Good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It does not sound as natural as somebody just saying 5 + 4. That's a failure. Do you know what I mean? There's something there missing, but it's good enough. Good enough for me right now. I think the effort to take it to the next level, it would require more thought and a lot more effort. And I'm like, let's go forward from there. So that just brings you up to speed on what we did. We did that for skill checks. We did it for saving throws as well. Everybody's like, it's just a saving throw, Mark. Really? More explosions? Karen is like,
+1 success.
So there you go.
It's a major movie event, clearly.
12 + 1 success. Yeah. So it's not bad. A couple days ago, I was meeting with the team that does the Dragon Humper show, and screenshots. There's lots of stuff going on the screen. Yeah, was a meeting with the team there, and we were talking about what do we do if we get like crazy off track on this crazy improv thing and we're off course, and we want to bring us back. And somebody was like, well, let's do a countdown to an explosion kind of thing where you have to do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, an explosion. I can make like a really big explosion, like that just wraps outside the bounds of your monitor. I think I could make this whole thing work. Anyway, like Karen's like, please no more explosions. The show is kind of explosion heavy, don't you think? Like explosion heavy. And I'm like, what do you mean, honey?
Intelligence saving throw.
Yeah. So anyway. Maybe we got some explosions on the show. So, Screwshot,
I love the way you use the phrase, if we get off
3
track.
+ 2 failure.
It's definitely more of a when, right?
I do like, by the way, yes, you're right. One of the things I really like about this, by the way, Rory, is it doesn't say 3 + 2 = 5, right? It leaves that into the mind. But if you were blind or if you were listening to this on a podcast, you could choose to do the math if you wanted to, but you don't have to. It gives you enough information if you don't have a visual sense of what it is. And ultimately, the guy says failure or success anyway. right?
Yeah.
So I like that it gives you, instead of giving the total, it tells you the die roll plus the offset. And so I like that. And I think we've got the same thing for, let's go see what happens here with a spell attack. Ice Storm, this is a good one to show. This one just doesn't have an attack die, but it's got two different kinds of damage, bludgeoning and cold. And so when we do this, we should hear a breakdown of both those.
Seven bludgeoning damage plus 14 cold damage.
Now, the bludgeoning lasted a long time. Did you notice that? 7 bludgeoning damage. That's because I didn't clean up those files. I didn't clean up those files yet. And let's go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that right now. As I hear these, I'm gonna just fix those real quickly. I need to go. Let me bring this up here so you can see what I'm doing, where I'm navigating. I want to go into sound effects, and then announcer, and then damage. One more time to close, and it'll work, Rory. That's a new bug I added, but it fixed a different bug. So here's the bludgeoning. Yeah, I'll trade it. It's like that. The bug you just saw is a bug I can easily fix. The other, with buttons live. So bludgeoning, that one looks good. So that one's not the problem. 2 to 2.2. That one looks good. 1.6 to 2.2. Well, it could trim a little bit here, but it's not. It's not bludgeoning. Why did damage come in so late? Is damage bludgeoning? Oh wait, it was the way I recorded it. It was the problem is how I recorded. It's here.
Damage.
See?
Bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so I'm gonna just edit this. That was my problem.
Bludgeoning damage.
Better. Trim a little bit more off of here.
Bludgeoning damage.
There. That was my problem. Okay, cool. Yeah, in recording it, I was thinking, oh, this will be a cool way to say it, but it doesn't work when you're sequencing the pieces together. You really need to have something that feels smoother, right? You can't add artificial space. So,
yeah.
All right. So that's kind of what we've done up to this point. Now we've got some bugs, and I've just been listing bugs in my notes over here. And I thought I'd go after these. I don't think this is going to be a fun show for me. This is like my least favorite thing is to, first of all, you're coming face to face with the realization that you weren't careful when you created the code. So it's not happy, right? I'm doing it in front of everybody, right?
On this day, you were not 11 out of 10. You were closer to 9.5.
Yeah, or
that's what we're saying.
Or maybe a 7. Maybe I was looking the other way while I was writing the code, right? Maybe I was doing this.
Maybe it's Fred's fault. Maybe he snuck in and put bugs there.
Yeah, Fred's got a response, but he can't show it to you on this show. He's just gonna point at you and be like, "Rory, you're next." Rory.
I only said maybe. He looks like he could ninja some bugs in if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He looks stealthy enough.
There you go, Rory. See, this is why you're so amazing. This is why the autistic in me is like so amazed with Rory kids, because that guy can get out of any hole just by hopping out of it. Whereas when I try to dig myself out of the hole,
my wife agrees with that.
Yeah, I don't know. When I try to dig myself out of that hole, I just tend to go deeper. I don't know how to do that. All right, what's going on? Oh, okay, this one's actually, let's start with an easy bug. Let's give me a break on this. Let's start with an easy bug. So this is a bug where the scene switches to players. I should check to see if tunneler players are already active. So here's the thing. We have, on the show, we have 2 major scenes that we use frequently. We have this one, players, and then we have another one that we've been using a lot to indicate that we're traveling through an alternate dimension called tunnels. This one.
Yes.
Now, if I were to cast a spell, like let's go into miles and let's go into spells, and I don't know, let's cast Ice Knife. So we cast Ice Knife, and now we play a different, first of all, we play a different scene. So it's like, all right, because the spell, sometimes spells have got a scene. But when the scene is done,
that is a hit.
we switch back to players.
With 1 piercing damage. Plus 27 cold damage.
So look here, this is OBS right here. And no, look, we've already switched back to players. Right there. So that's happening automatically that we want to switch back to tunnels or figure out where we came from and get back. What's happening, the reason is in the spells. We've had this presumption.
Where are you?
Hey, Genesis 7. Buckle up, kids. The show is going to rock now. Genesis, what are you always blocking with the K?
Here, I am.
Yoda's on for just barely enough time that I'm not going to get sued, I think. That's what I think. What do you think, Rory?
I think you're probably good. Yeah. And in any case, homage anyway, right? It's clearly with love to original.
Rory is my personal assistant / lawyer at all times. When I get in trouble,
well, no one's going to argue that we are trying to confuse people into thinking we are Star Wars.
That's
because
true.
there's just not enough there, really.
That's true. Was that from Star Wars? I didn't realize that. Yeah, Janisku 7's here for the dance moves. Some people come for the code. Some people come for the dance moves. I'm not going to lie. So
some people come for the hole digging.
For the what? The hole digging. You're right. That
Hole
might
digging.
be true. You're right. So here we go. Here's an example. Add timer. So we got this kind of flexible piece here that says add timer darkness 3, 23 seconds. And when 23 seconds is done, we execute this code, which restores to players.
Yep.
What I think I want to do is change this to something different. To
you kind of want to set scene stack, get scene stack.
a little bit. I want to do this, I think, is what I want to do. I want to add an additional parameter that simply just says, it's a temp play. We're going to play this temporarily for 23 seconds, then we're going to restore to the main. So it's going to be an optional parameter there. That's what I want to do. I want to get rid of this line of code, and I want to do that for play scene. Let's look at that. I actually like this way of fixing the bug because I'm adding new code rather than, trying to figure out what's going on. This is like my favorite kind of bug to solve because, okay, we can just write code for that. So somewhere in here, I've got something called play scene, I presume. Whoops. By the way, short show today, Rory. I gotta jump out.
Yep.
I mentioned at the start of the show that I'm a panelist at the Desktop First UX conference. I'm a panelist again, and I'll have to jump off a little bit later.
You're just that darn popular. Pick my words very carefully.
Okay, yeah, no, you do. It's really
I nearly went somewhere else with it.
Nothing but admiration. Yeah, but from their perspective, they're like, Miller, you better show up. You better get here. This is your punishment, Miller, for being you. You have to do a panel. So anyway,
I think you should be on all panels. I would have.
I like it.
Like the end of a cooking show panel. I'm sure that would work.
Sure.
You should be on the couch, like for Saturday Night Live or whatever the equivalent is, just commenting on everything. I think people would pay to see that.
I don't know. I actually came up with a great idea today. Oh, by the way, check out our new, I don't know if you noticed this, we're here when we fix this. We added more because I'm on a more powerful machine. I was like, let's throw more and let's make them be transparent. Right? So this is, we've gone up a level here.
Nice.
So I came up with a great thought this morning. And I was
What was your great thought this morning?
My great thought, let's see if I just have it written down.
That was a great thought in itself, to write the great thought down.
Here it is. So we're talking about great UI, and somebody was talking about subjectivity. And basically you're describing subjectivity as a blocking force to going forward. They didn't say that. Oh, wow, you haven't seen this one in a while. Isn't that cool? Yeah, they're talking about subjectivity. Here, let me move this over here. You can see that. So sometimes appears as a blocking force against progress. They didn't say that, but they were like, it's subjective. And you basically, a lot of times when people describe a decision point that they can't decide past, it is described in the story as that's the end of the story, the progress, right? But they don't say, I didn't know what to do, so I stopped, right? They just talk about that point. And so when you and I design, we often talk about something similar to this, where it is this idea of subjectivity. And it's often when people talk about it, well, you know, they shrug their shoulders and they say, well, you know, it could be any way, any path. And so I think it's important to say, hey, to take a step out of, you know, the focus on usability and now look at your own progress. Are you now stopped at the fork in the road? That is the more intensive thing. I think Genesis 7 is talking about this. I like this. This is super cool.
I like the way this gets more enthralling to look at the longer it goes on.
Yeah, I do. It's pretty cool. And you know what? We could double up the particles in this too easily. We might do that just to play. Where is this thing? This is in, I think this is in my back game. My Dungeons & Dragons back overlay. Let's see what happens when I turn it off. That's where it is. Okay, so let's go find that. So anyway, I know I'm like all over the place here, kids. I know.
I often wonder if the chat room is having some secret game of, I don't know, squirrel firing. You know, it's like, who can get Mark off track the quickest?
It's not a known problem. You know what's interesting is Karen is way worse than me. Frank's with us. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Karen is like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. She every day, guaranteed, she will ask at least one time, "Where's my phone?" And about probably I'd say 4 out of 7 days a week, I'm invoking the Find My Phone application on my phone to find hers. Right?
see, in our house, that question gets asked. I ask the question, and it's in my pocket. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. My wife also asked that question. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, so that's it. That's what Karen's
saying nothing about the pattern there, by the way.
The what? The pattern? Oh, okay, right. I thought you were saying something about it.
No. That would be dangerous.
I've got a, what is it? Execute? Is there an execute? Test. It's not helping that I'm test command, latest command. No. It's something right here. All right, yeah, this bugs me. I want to get. I've spec'd out an improvement to this feature, and it doesn't exist yet. So I'm like, and also my caps lock is engaged. Test command. Nope. Test. All right, fine. I'm just going to look for test, but I'm going to tap the control key and say only in this file. And that's it. Okay. So what did we do? What was your test blue ball? That's what I sort of searched for. Is it here? Blue ball.
There we go.
Blue ball. Where's the particles?
Oh, look at the readability of this specification.
All right,
Isn't that great?
I'm going to change it to 300. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to refresh the back overlay and refresh that. Try test blue ball again, and let's see how crazy that gets. That's with 3 times the particles in it. Or I'll do it. There it comes. What?
Hang on. That seems to have failed. Did you turn off? Did you hide the layer?
I did, but I refreshed it. Guys, somebody pull the plug on the drain in my studio, please.
There's a bit of a misinterpretation there. Blue ball, giant glacier. I'm not sure where the miscommunication went.
Yeah, I don't even get that. That should totally have worked. Let's go back. Oh, you know
what?
Refresh,
but did you actually turn it back on?
Yeah, no, I did turn it back on, but what I didn't do, and this is now seemingly, I used to be able to just turn them on and off and that would refresh, but now, refresh cache current page, I bet this fixes it. Let's see if we got a shot of that fixing it. Test blue ball. There you go. That worked. Uh-oh! Confuso Lily! You're right, you caught me. No, we're back in C#. I was just over there. We were just distracted for a second.
Temporarily.
We were just creating some particle systems right here. No, you're good. You're good. It's my fault. I promise C#. That's cool. Isn't that cool, Rory?
It is very nice. It's got this kind of ghostly apparition as it goes around the back. It's almost like it's behind the code. You've got a kind of a...
No, sure.
A pseudo 3D round the code effect going on
because
of that faded effect.
It is not as smooth as I want it to be, though. You know that?
Are you going to have
It's
to
like-
upgrade your hardware now?
I think I don't know what's going on, or the code. I remember looking through the code and talking about ways to improve its speed. And one of the things that I thought I was suspect of is we are creating like hundreds of thousands of vectors and disposing them really quickly. And I think that is potentially part of the problem. Okay. Let's, so we're in C#. We're in C#. Don't worry, Confuse-a-Lele. And by the way, Frackberg, hello, Frackberg. Glad you're with us,
Welcome,
Frackberg. Glad you are here. All right, let's put this back. I'll stick this on another monitor over here. So here's the bug we're fixing. We're basically changing this play scene call so that I can specify an additional parameter. If I specify a duration in seconds, it'll play this scene for that many seconds, and then when it's done, it'll restore back to whatever scene was before if it's one of two key scenes. So we're gonna have to track which scene is active, which I'm not sure we're doing yet, and we're gonna need to restore that. So that's what I'm looking at, play scene. Over here in D&D app, in my Stream Deck commands, got a play scene command, and it comes out and calls Dungeon Master app play scene. So we need to change this. Oh, wait, hold on. This is not the right spot. Not here. My bad. Down in the core, D&D core, in our expression functions, we've got a play scene. I was almost really going to take us on the wrong path, and hopefully not for a long time, but here it is right here, play scene. So it's got these two parameters, scene name and delay. And I'm going to add a new parameter over here, parameter 3 int, and this is going to be duration in seconds. Does that make sense? That my play scene.
You might want it in milliseconds, only because you might have half a second. Well, I don't know. It depends how you want to specify, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I might. No, I'm not. I'm going to do duration in seconds. The reason why is because
oh, you've already got that in.
Yeah,
that's a duration in and of itself, isn't it?
Yeah, but now my new question is, should I change play scene everywhere to that? That's a little trickier because that involves essentially a refactoring in our own editor. We got to go find everything that's got a play scene on it and change that.
You can cheat. You could decide that if it's over 1,000, you divide by 1,000.
Yes. That's a really insightful observation.
It is a cheat, though. I mean,
yeah, but it's a great idea actually.
Because you're never going to have 1,000 seconds actually required in a value.
And I'm never going to have 2 milliseconds required either. This is the delay. So it's basically, I would say, argue if it's anything greater than 400, it's going to be in milliseconds, and if it's less than 400, it's going to be in seconds. We could do that for now, and so let's change this to duration seconds.
The nice part about that is you can actually go around and change them individually as you come across them, and it's kind of a slow migration that way.
Yes, I do like that, Rory. All right, so in seconds, okay, and this is going to be an optional time to wait before returning to a foundation scene, I think is what I'm going to say. Call it in seconds. And this is not required. This is optional. By the way, Rory, I don't know if I told you this or not. I'm starting a new show.
Another one?
Yep, I'm starting a new show on Saturday. We do it on Saturday. And it's titled, well, let me just show you the title. That's it right there, kids.
That's a great idea.
It's not bad, and it's called Kids Code, and where I get a whole bunch of senior citizens and we try to pretend we're kids and write code. Or it could be my son. I'm not sure. One of the two will be there. My son is actually, yes, it's a new Matrix movie. My son is essentially going to learn to code on the show. He knows a little bit about it, but he's still very new to it. but we decided let's do it, and so we're going to do that once a week, and we're going to start off in Unity, doing a little bit of game design, but we're also going to do like hardware related projects where we're doing interfaces with hardware, just all kinds of fun projects that give you generally good results in a short period of time, like something interesting in a short period of time. That's kind of what we'll focus on. Okay, so placing 2 and 2. I love your suggestion, Rory. For kids who are here, they're new. Rory, by the way, is this disembodied voice. He's in the UK. He's my co-host 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. He's a kicking the butt, as we say in
he's just this guy, you know,
the science industry. I just wanted to get those pieces down. All right, so that's what we've got. We've got a play scene there for Miles. Where were we? We were in the darkness spell right there. So that's what we want to change. Okay, so we've added this additional 1 seconds right here. That means down here for expecting arguments, we can expect between 1 and 3 arguments now. And this, do that, and then I'm going to come down here, and if it's greater than 2, then we're going to get that. And this is going to be, let's rename this to delay seconds. And that is going to actually, we're going to turn this into a double now. And I'm going to also do a return seconds one. This, also a double. And this is going to become get double. That's going to be get double, and this is going to be return second. Like that. Then, on request play scene, let's go figure that out. That needs double. And 1 more double. That. And that's going to need that. We're going to need, get over to our new play scene event args. We're going to do this.
Now, although you've got the ability, or you're planning to have the ability to specify either in seconds or milliseconds, are we still going to be consistent within our code?
Yes, I'm going to, well, I think I'm going to change it. Here's where I'm going to do the conversion right here. So delay is in the creation of the play scene event args, because that's what's being, so we call request
this layer
play scene.
here, you're passing milliseconds and seconds in the one call, line 17.
Oh, I'm going to fix that.
Okay.
I'm going to fix that right now. So basically here in the delay coming in, if delay is greater than that, then delay milliseconds is equal to delay, like that, I think. Otherwise, delay milliseconds is going to be equal to delay times 1,000.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to, well, it is an int here, I suppose. I can do that. But we still need to, I'm going to need to round this, do a math.round on this, I think. Math.round on that. And great template in CodeRush. C for cast, I for integer, and it just gives you that very quickly. Now that I've got that, I can go take this, stick it there, there. So now we've got delay milliseconds there. And then we want to add a new parameter here, which is going to be our return seconds. Okay, and the return seconds is, what do I want to do? Do I want to say return milliseconds? Return milliseconds, return seconds? I guess I'm going to do return milliseconds. So I'm going to create a new property called return ms, and I'm going to say that's equal to, and it's essentially equal to that on the left and the times 1,000 on the right. Okay, return milliseconds. I want to declare that as a property in here. There it is. So I got my return milliseconds, return seconds. And at some point here, clean this up after all delays have been converted to seconds in the spell event handlers. And we can actually search for this code. We have a way of searching for it, so we can kind of do this. All right, so place scene, like actually there's a couple ways we can solve this actually. So now we've got place scene and we've got those pieces. Cool. Place scene event args is changed, and then we need to change the code in the main app here. Hold on, let's do this. Like that, and so on request place scene. Then let's look at our event handler for this request place scene. It's here. And we're going to get, so if delay, we're going to do place scene after. And I think we got to pass in the new data here. Let's use CodeRush to add a parameter. And we're going to say EA dot return milliseconds. And call this return MS. And what do we want to do here? I actually was not anticipating this. Let's go ahead and let's accept all of these, but I actually think I want to get rid of these. And let's just use tap to next reference to go to these. Let's make this, give this a default like that. And then we've got that. Now, place scene. Looks like I've got a next return MS is equal to return MS. Now, here's the problem, is that this is going to work like, this is like a one stack deep kind of solution, right? One level deep solution, right? I've got next scene to play, next return, milliseconds. I'm storing these for the next time we get out of whatever we're doing, right? So we can do this, right? In practicality, this totally works in the game, but in a real world environment, I would use a stack here instead. In fact, I'm just gonna put a do here, consider stacking scene play requests. That's what I think. I also need to track, all right, so anyway, here's next return MS. Let's try to stay focused with that. Then we need to look at our event handler for our timer. So there's two, I'm taking a fork in the road. I'm looking at the timer now, and then after I do the timer, I've got to then go back and look at the main play scene piece. Well, here it is right here. Play scene, next scene to play. Let's pass in the next return milliseconds. Let's jump into, let's have the next reference here. Here we go. We're going to do the same thing here now. All right, cool. Let's dive into the declaration for that. We're going to do a, whoops, I want to just do a type int. And this is going to be return milliseconds. Sure, I can use that. All right. And if we're good here, then I think I want to do another set timer here with the to do a timer to return to previously active scene. Well, we got to kind of see. It depends. If the active scene is one of two core foundational scenes, yes. Otherwise, go back to the players. Okay, so I kind of need to let's see what's going on here. Does OBS WebSocket tell me the active scene? I got a scene change for that. Am I hooking it? List scenes. There's no active scene. Hold on. Right now I'm using Visual Studio's IntelliSense, which only shows me 5 entries, and I want to see more. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn on CodeRush's IntelliRush, which is similar, but the cool thing about it is that I can actually come in here. Can I not make it longer than that? Do you think I should be able to? I kind of feel like I should. What's going on with that?
good question.
What's going on? Is it because it came up and it was already down near the bottom? Hold on, let's bring it up here. Can I now make it longer? No, that's it. It's going to be code rush issue.
For what it's worth, there is a get current scene written right there.
Oh, cool. Cool. Kids, it's your good friend Mark Miller here. I'm talking to the dev team right now, for everybody who's listening. IntelliRush here doesn't let me make this bigger. I'm like, what if I had a giant monitor? What if my font was really, really large and I wanted to see more entries? I can't pull this down anymore. But I feel like I totally should be able to. I can do this, and it stops at some point. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But here, I just can't bring this down anymore, and I've got space to see more. I'd like to see more. That's what I want. So please fix that. All right, we're dogfooding Code Rush here every day. Do you think this is a bug or a feature? I'm gonna call it
it's an improvement.
An issue is what I'm gonna call it. Issue. IntelliRush has height limits. Has a max height? Like, what is going on there? Let me put that in the chat room. Devs will get everything they need. Flame Creations is here. How you doing, Flame Creations? Haven't created your fanfare yet, but it's on the list. I've just been crazy busy. I'm in a conference right now. Desktop Summit first.
Nice. Screechrat has a nice comment there. He says, by the way, this morning I was working in my code and CodeRush showed me some suggestions on how to use some of the features. I love the discoverability of the features. I love that you love the discoverability of the features, Screechrat. That is awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's great. It is not as good as I want it to be. I'll tell you this right now. Here comes Coding Girl. It's been a while since I've seen some good old-fashioned C#. Yeah, it's all good.
There's some pretty good C# going past there.
Coding Gorilla built into CodeRush as well, I think, right? Is that right? I don't know. I need to check that.
We should get one of those.
He'll show up and be like, oh, here's some code for you. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I feel like I want a whole new team to do discoverability the way I want to do it. I really want discoverability to be really good. And it's a problem that needs more time and more resources to really take it to the next level. I think we do an okay approach at it, and I'm glad you found value in that. That was Flame Creations who said that? Is that right? Or Screechrat?
Yeah, I believe that's Screechrat.
Screechrat. That would be a great way to have the templates inserted in the code. They come out of Coding Gorilla's chest. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yep.
Yeah. So wait, you sound get current scene.
Yeah, apparently.
You found it. Sweet. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say, let's call it foundation. I like that. Foundational scene is equal to this dot get. Look at this. I've been in TypeScript so long. Get foundational scene. I was like doing this there, and I didn't need to. And we're
See, what you need there is a feature that knows you're in C# and decides to remove this because your coding standards say you don't need it, so you don't have to think about it. So you type it by all means, and then it just goes away.
Sure, that can work too. All right, so let's do. Wait, what just happened? Control. Oh, look, my numlock was on. Okay. From here and. Whoops. Oh, I just hit the wrong key. I see what I did. Okay. All right, so there's my current scene. If it's null, then I'm going to return players. And again, look at that. I tried to do. Wow, it must have been a long time since I've been here. So if current scene is null, what is this? What are you not liking that? It's a struct. Okay.
It is literal keyword. Or...
All right.
No, the C#'s good with that, right?
No, it's a struct, so it's never going to be null. So I might be able to do. Yeah. It might have an is empty or something on it. Does it have a? Nope. All right, so it's gonna give me something back apparently.
There will always be a scene.
Yeah, you know what? I believe it. This is what it's gonna do. That's what the space I need to do here. So Here I'm going to return players. This is what I'm going to do, like that. Okay.
Is it possible to have no scene?
No, I don't think so. But I think it's impossible. I think it's possible to get an exception right here. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I want to say scene.name. I think I really want to do say if is a foundation scene is foundation scene. Like that. Come on. By the way, Vape Juice Jordan, I can't say enough about this guy. I caught a little bit of this guy's stream the other day. Really fast coder. I was like,
Yeah.
it was probably the most amazing, like 3 minutes of live stream or 4 minutes of live stream I'd ever seen. The guy was so good. It was, I think it was on Friday I saw him. Really impressive with that guy. It's a mature show. And as I was in there, he dropped like F-bombs, like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, I remember what it was like to do this. But you know, so I probably won't be rating him, you know, or I might be giving everybody a warning before I send you over there. But because this is a family show on this one right here. But family-friendly show here, work-safe show. But he was super impressive. His speed was great. His knowledge was great. His ability to explore ideas in an impromptu way. He gave like one of the most valuable like sessions I'd ever seen as a prepared session, but he did it totally improv, just exploring. Just like, oh, you could do this, and you could go in this direction, go in that direction. Yeah, it was amazing. So super impressed with Vape Juice Jordan over there. So is it a foundation scene? And we're gonna pass in the name to it, like that. If it is, then we're gonna return it. The movie's here. Just on time. Smoothie is in the house.
Hello, Smoothie.
Welcome, buddy.
How we doing?
Welcome. All right, we're gonna get some new. I promise you. I'm gonna make an effort to find time to get some new fanfares done by the end of this weekend. So by next week, I'm expecting to have to inaugurate some new folks into the, what do you call it? Induct into the Hall of Fame here on the show. So Screech Rat, you're on my list.
I've got a great idea for a new show for you, Mark.
Yes?
It's called Kids Fanfare.
Yeah? We just do fanfares for people?
I don't know. That might work. I don't know how enthralling it will necessarily be, but...
All right. Well, we can do that. Smoothie says, props. Is this the bug you were talking about last week, I think? Or is this a new issue, or is this
Possibly.
maybe somebody else? Yeah, I don't know if it was Smoothie or not, but somebody mentioned it was, yeah, it is. So props to Coder's team for fixing my bug so quickly. You know, that's our goal is...
Thank you, please.
Our goal is to be good, right?
Yeah.
So like if this is mediocre and good is right up here, we're like here, trying to be right up there, right? Sometimes we go even higher, right? Sometimes we're like up here, and sometimes we're like, yeah, you know, down here, right? A little bit. We're just trying to get up there in everything we do.
You want your life and your coding life certainly to be easier, to be better, to be faster. We want to get everything out of your way so you can do your best work.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, if it's a foundational scene, then we're that. Otherwise, we're going to say return players. That's going to take care of this squiggly line right there. So players is our default. Since I've used it twice, gosh, it would be great to declare it as a constant. Right here, string players scene. Let's go tab index reference on that. Cool. Found another one right here. Nice. All right, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Much better. Now let's declare this right here. And I'm not exactly sure, you know, right now since there are only two, I think I'm going to just, I'm just going to hard code it.
Yep. Single best thing, so single simplest thing that can work, but no simpler.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll do this. I'm going to create a compare name and set that equal to name dot to lower. Like that. And then I'm going to just do this. If compare name is equal to players, then return compare name and I really should, or sorry, return true. And this should really almost be using that stir player scene dot to lower. Like that. And otherwise I'm going to say, hey, if compare name is equal to It's called dh.tunnels is the name of that other scene. Okay, then return true on that, otherwise we're going to return false. And I can probably come in here and use CodeRush to combine the conditionals in there, and maybe even flatten this whole thing as a conditional right here. Flatten the conditional, there we go. I have a bug here. I think I have a... what you got? 577 can never... 5577, wait, let me...
That was before the shrinkage.
Refactor.
Comparing it
right.
up is too lower. Well
Yes.
done. Good spot.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. dh.tunnels. Okay, let's report an issue here. I'm going to I got to do two things here to show you the issue. Right here, I start here. Actually, is the issue here? The issue is here. Look at this. CodeRush Classic didn't do this, but CodeRush and Roslyn does do this. I'm here. I want to combine the conditionals. Look what it's doing for me. It's giving me an extra set of parens here and here. I don't need that to combine these two. Also, similarly here, I don't need that. Why doesn't it know that I don't need that, and why doesn't it generate this code? Combined conditionals should do that. Let's see what happens with flattened conditional. Flattened conditionals gets it from there, but it's the combined conditionals that added the extra parens. That didn't make sense to me.
If you combine conditionals, don't correct it, and then flatten, does it also not fix?
Yeah, it also does not fix. That's what we saw the first time. So if in other words, if I come in here and I say, okay, let's combine conditionals here, right? And then don't correct.
Combine conditionals creates the problem.
Yeah, and the flattened
conditionals
preserves
does not fix the problem.
I actually don't think this is necessarily a problem if you've got extra parens and we're keeping them, but I do think it's a problem if we don't have them and we're adding them and we don't need them. So for me, the issue is with combined conditionals. So let's report that issue. Combine conditionals. Can you tell people I typed this, what we're doing with dog fooding CodeRush here? Rory?
Well, that's very simple. We are basically working here 3/4 days a week, making our wonderful little bit of code here for Dragon Humpers, but we are making sure that we use CodeRush. We're trying to produce a product for you which effectively does the best job it can. It makes you a better coder. It provides you with hints and tips, templates and additional refactorings, all that kind of stuff, so that you don't have to think about that stuff, so that you can just be your best coder, essentially.
Right.
So we're testing CodeRush to make sure that we find all of the bugs that we can up front, so that you never have to encounter them.
By the way, we had a cool feature in CodeRush Classic, which was simplify Boolean expression that nobody used. It was so brilliant, though, but you could take a Boolean expression and simplify it. I'm going to talk to the devs about that, bringing that back too. Yeah, I get you. Smoopy says I like to use compare name dot equals and set it to lower. Yeah, I think
that is the better way to do it, but it is so much less readable that if you know that you're not going to fall into the edge case, that's when I use to lower.
Yeah, I have problems with readability. What's this here, kids? Let's turn this on. Find something good to watch. It's Retro CRT in the house. Retro CRT.
I love Retro CRT. He says, CodeRush helps you be more gorilla.
That's true. It does. It does help you be more gorilla. Okay, so now we've got, we can go to flattened conditional now. And now we're there. Okay, so yeah, I'm like, I don't like the readability of the compares. Also, I don't like all the parens you have to hit. I've not yet found a fast solution for creating a case-sensitive comparison code.
Coding Gorilla says I have a .equals ignore case extension method in one of my tooltips that I always use. So you've disguised the complexity of the code using an extension method, thus getting the correct effect with lesser impact on the readability.
Yeah, I love it. Generic extensions, stir extensions. Let's write that right now. All right, so let's create a...
Do like that. That's very good.
Let's create a method that returns a Boolean. I think I'm in a static method. So normally if you want to create something static in a coder's template, use an uppercase letter here. So an MB would give me a static. But because I think I'm in a static method, just a lowercase MB, whoops. Yeah, it's going to see that and create a static anyway. So I've got a static here, and we're going to call this matches. Is that enough to be, generic, case insensitive matches? The length of this line is 2. Matches without case. I can't think of the letters match. Same letters? I actually like that. Same letters? Yeah, same digits, because numbers too.
Same essence. Roughly the thing.
Same as. All right, I'm going to do this. I'll document it. Okay, so we're going to say...
And thus we see the preemptive awesomeness that is rename. Thus we can name it anything we like, sure in the knowledge that later on when we decide it has a better name, it'll just be easy to change.
Yeah, so now...
Get on with having the functionality for the moment.
So, good. So now we've got same as here. And now I think we want to say return... what the heck is it? String.compare? So this is like where the choice I would run on this. I would say stir.compare stir, and then ignore case true. That's kind of the way I would do this. What's this going to do? A number? What are we doing here? It's a number?
Yeah.
If it's equal to 0. Okay, that's kind of how I would do that. And then,
Fair enough.
And I know there are other ways. Is there a globalization? Yeah, there's culture info in here too. So you could add that as well if you want. So you can ignore case, and then you can come in here to throw in whatever culture info you want. But for this app, that will never be an issue because it's only going to be, this app is only used by 2 people in the world, myself and the Dungeon Master. So now we've got same as, cool. So now we can come in here and say, we're going to say this is now equal to name dot same as this, or name dot same as. Oh, look, I like this even better, right? Once again, and I like to being able to specify this exactly as it is as the C name appears. And now we're done with this. We don't need this, and we need to change this to name. And look at that. Coding Gorilla once again guiding us, showing us where the light is at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Oh yeah, Coding Gorilla is suggesting basically the same as. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So matches. Should I do matches instead? I don't know. Anyway, same as. At the very least, we should do this.
Matches has a somewhat regex connotation. I don't know, that's the phrase they use for that.
Yes, you're right. Is a case insensitive match. Insensitive. What's interesting is there's no adverb. You can't really say what I want to do if the string case insensitively matches, right? You can't really do an adverb on a hyphenated word, it seems, right? That would be the way I'd want to say it, and everybody would be like, what are you saying? So I have to say the string is...
I think it's technically good grammar.
Case insensitive match.
Yeah, not common usage, as it were.
Yeah. All right, so that's what we're doing. Specified string. That's not bad. I now need to write a utility library. Wait, I need to write a utility library now that has goofy names for all my utility methods. What? Looks kind of like. Name looks kind of like. Yeah. I actually used to have. This was like probably 20 years ago, almost, when I was writing Code Rush for Delphi. And I used to have a fuzzy match I'm not sure if it was equivalent of an extension method, but I had a fuzzy match, which would kind of take some things and kind of get an overall sense, is it close? I'm just going to do that. And so now we've got the same as documented. Do we have that hint showing up? Return string specified strings case insensitive match. Okay. Kind of matches. I also like that. Kind of matches. That's like some, I think that's, I'm not sure if you call it a colloquialism or not, but kinda is kind of it's kind of slang.
It's the kind of method name that comes along at this like Friday afternoon. Everyone's kind of winding down. Nobody's quite sure.
Yeah.
I remember instead of I can't remember what the object was. It's kind of like an XYZ factory. We had a XYZ manufactorium because we were just in a kind of a steampunk mood, I guess.
I like it. Yeah, I know, I like it. Well, we've got the Hubtastic base station out here too.
There you go.
Right.
That's good.
Which, you know, it's certainly retainable. It's like I definitely remember the name of that. Kind of matches. I also am playing with CI match, or I don't know what's case insensitive. Yeah, just like, you know, why isn't there a single word for case insensitive? Just a single one syllable word. Case insensitive matches. Case insensitively matches. That's the grammatically correct way to do it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Although it's interesting, you could argue that the word case is a redundant term, since it's the only other form of insensitivity you could have with regard to a string.
Yeah, I'm back to same as.
Same as is at least, you know, rolls off the tongue.
Same letters. I'm actually going to same letters. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going with, same letters, because the digits are always the same, right? I used to have funny jokes that I thought were funny, where I was talking about, you know, well, let's uppercase those letters and see what they look like, right? Or let's lowercase everything because it'll take less space on disk, right? I like to write all my names are in lowercase, so it takes up less space on disk. That's what I would do. That would be what I thought was funny. So that's why I'm not doing comedy, kids. It's this show instead. All right, so is foundation scene. So now we've got the current scene there. We're returning the name, get foundational scene. We're going to do this. So we're going to either return players or the DH tunnels. That's what this is going to do. Setting it here. I'm just going to come up here and we're going to do that foundational scene. That's set. Now we need to do the timer to return to the active scene after this many milliseconds. So let's go build a timer. Let's go look for our other timers. Here we go. And since we're in XAML, I'm using a dispatch timer. We're going to call this the scene return timer, like that. I'll copy that to clipboard, come up here at the tab key to find the next set of code for that. And fine, I just want to duplicate this and paste that in there. And this is going to be called return to scene. The interval I'm not going to set actually. I'm not going to set that right now. Scene, return to scene handler is what I'm going to do. Let's declare that. Fine. I'm going to actually cut this to the clipboard, jump back to where we were, and now we're going to say scene return timer dot start. We need to set the interval. I'm going to paste that other method right up here. So there's my return to scene handler. Drop a marker there so I can come back to it. Start. We need to set the interval. Interval is equal to, I think it's time span, right? Time span from milliseconds, return milliseconds. And there's my start. Now up here, when we get hit here, we're going to say dot stop. We're going to stop that. Because it's a dispatch timer, everything, we're in the UI thread now. So we can do all kinds of things UI if we want to. And now what we need to do is call play scene.
I feel like maybe there are, I want to avoid the phrase holes in this strategy, but Don't we have a situation where return milliseconds can be -1? And do we have any kind of issue with the idea that something somewhere might try to change to a foundational scene from a foundational scene? And will our return path be in any way unstable at that
No, I
point?
think we'll be good. Certainly we have kind of what's definitely an instability now, and we're just improving it, right? So
Okay.
So that's kind of where we are on that. Plane scene, we want this to default. Do I want to default this? I think I want to default this to -1. And you're absolutely right. We need to basically say, hey, if this is greater than 0, then we need to, whoops, just hit. By the way, if I have multiple lines selected like this, I just hit the letter B, and CodeRush will surround those with braces. So I think it looks like this. We're going to call get foundational scene no matter what, although you could argue, well, that's really more efficient, so fine. The problem is I have to set it before I set the current scene. I have to do this call first.
Should we be setting it to string empty ahead of that, just in case it's, well,
No, I don't think
because
so.
if we don't call that, we have a residual value from before.
No, I don't think so. I think that I'm going to set it to null here when we return to the scene, and I don't think I need to. Is kind of I could be wrong.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no, you're right about foundational scene. For some reason, I was parsing that as foundational scene name, which, yeah, okay, that would have been different.
Well, it is the foundational scene name. It is. So here, when we call get foundational scene, we're coming in and we're checking to see, is the current scene count as one? This is like the return foundational scene. So if we're not on that, in other words, we're calling this from another location, we're just going to return players is what we're going to do. So that's kind of what's going on there. Does that make sense, Roy?
But we're only doing that if there's a delay involved.
Yes.
Right? Because if there is no return delay, then that foundational scene will have a previous value in it, unless we do definitely reach that nullification.
Yeah,
There's
no,
an early exit.
I'm okay with it.
Which is if it's null anyway. So yeah, actually this does close off.
I'm okay.
Fair enough.
I'm okay with it right now. If there's a problem, I apologize. I'm just not able to see it. But I'm like,
That's all right.
I'm kind of okay with it. I think it's going to work. There's my play scene, and then we clear this to null. No matter what, stopping the timer up at the top. I feel like we're ready to try it.
Okay.
I feel like we're ready to do. So let's take this app, close it down, because this has just been running on its own. It's the same app. We're just going to hit start here. Get a drink of water. I have a kid sticking her head in the door. How you doing, kid? Yeah? Do you like life? Glad I gave birth to you. Do you know I carried you in my carried you in my belly for like 9 months. I know mom likes to be all like, I did it. But I don't know if you know a lot about human biology, but I was the guy who did it. You want to say hi to everybody? You can come up. That's just a hand. Don't move too quickly because then the green screen shows up, right? You got to go slowly. Wait, what's happening here? Looks like I changed an interface. All right. Looks like I did not change the placing in here. And so let's only giving these two. So this is going to be just this is the only other piece. So I'm just going to change that back where we were. Okay, there's that one. And oops, now I can't go find the other one. Hold on, let me come back to you in a second. So I'm using tabbed index reference to find the other one. Well, actually, this one's cool because it is it's an initialized parameter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find all of them. We should go back and find it. Yeah, we're finding the ones with just one piece in it as well. All right. So okay, now let's run. You doing a test wave, Roy? Did it work?
It did. It did. I was curious to see if I could get Fred to do so really fast and show green screen, but no.
Oh, got it. Got it. We're loading it up. We're starting it up. There we go. Jetson's coming in.
Hey, Jetson.
Always got to peek out behind those clouds. All right, so to test this, we're going to switch to the tunnel scene. So we're on the tunnel scene. We're going to cast darkness. So Miles is going to cast darkness right there. This lasts about 23 seconds. And so now we've switched scenes. Okay?
Yes.
The question is, will we return to tunnels at the end of this? Did I actually change the code? I may not have changed the code. No, I did.
Yes.
I totally changed the code.
Okay.
It's right there. So,
Behind the darkness.
oh, right, sorry. It's right there. Oh, and it did it! Look at that, kids. I like that when that happens. Cool. So we got that right there. Let's make a quick change to Ice Knife as long as we're here. So, wait. Ice Knife. Why is it... Oh, interesting. This is just the wrong text right here. This should have been Ice Knife right here. To that returns to this. And I think all we need to do is come in here now and say 20.
We're not seeing any of this mark as tunnels.
Hey, Rory, this is why you're here. Sorry.
There we
kids.
go.
Sometimes I have my eyes on the wrong monitor. Okay. So, so I just added this bit right here. So instead of having this line of code here that basically adds a named timer to return to the scene in 20 seconds, I'm going to come up here, optional time to wait before playing the scene in seconds. I'm going to say 20. Like, wait, that's time to wait. Oops. No, I want that immediate. Optional time to wait before returning to a foundational scene in seconds. So we're going to go 0, 20, like that for Ice Knife. And so now with that, the question is this going to work? I saw an issue where there was a bug where, let me just do one other thing to make sure that we're doing this. Add spell. I saw something where changes here were not immediately applied. And I was like, what? And I tried to reproduce and I never saw it again. But just in case that's still around, I want to do a add spell hit effect. I want to do something very distinctive. Let's do blood gush like that. And the hue is going to be 0. The saturation is going to be 100. Brightness is 100. But let's make it like 3 times its normal size. So we'll see if this thing works. We'll see a blood gush on it. So let's go back, I think, to tunnels again.
Okay.
Switching to tunnels. And I'm going to do Ice Knife. And let's see what happens. So now it's playing the Ice Knife. So that part is cool. In about 20 seconds from the start of playing this, it's back. There's blood. Good. All right.
With 5 piercing damage.
And then we should switch
plus
back.
12 cold damage.
Right about now. Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Take out blood gush. That I'm going to call that a good fix. That's a nice fix. So
That's not bad.
So just got to make some changes to the code out here, where we're adding a timer on this for these pieces that have spell effects on them. And I guess let's do one more. Lady's got a spell called Hypnotic Pattern. And yeah, I think it's fixed. She's got one, but we're going to do the same thing here. Hypnotic Pattern there is where I want to go. Hypnotic Pattern's crazy in terms of all of these smoke waves and bursts that are coming out in it. But we're going to say play scene here, and we're going to return back in 27 seconds. That's all we're going to do. Delete this, and I'm going to change the 1500 to 15 because we changed that as well, right? And I think we're good. So there's that. Let's go switch to, this time I'm going to stay on regular players. I'm going to get on that scene, which is this one right here. So we're now on the players scene. Yeah, the DM is going to have nothing to do but tell a story soon. I'm just going to hold this up here so you can see this. This is These are the different scenes. There it is right there. There's players. We're in that now. I'm going to move this off to the side a little bit, I think, so that we'll be able to see it when she casts her spell. And and look who's here. It's Pudding. Thanks a lot, Pudding. Were you waiting for that? Pudding like comes in with, nope, it's my show.
Chocolatey goodness.
All right, back to players. So we're on players.
We are.
You can see that, right? All right.
Yes.
Now, I want to go bring up the deck. Let's go to Lady. And let's bring up Hypnotic Pattern. And let's cast it. Maybe I'll move this, make this a little bit bigger over here. Oh, interesting. Why did we not switch over to Lady's Hypnotic Pattern? Wait, now it is. Oh! It's the time to start. I said 15 seconds.
Instead of 1.5.
That's the fix. Sorry about that, kids. Okay. It's saving.
Well,
Looks like
either
it's
way.
All right. Either way, you want to do? I'm going to do it one more time. All right, back on players. Come over here. Let's. I know, Roy. You like just either way. Let's move on and write more code. And I'm like,
Well, it's not that. It's work. It worked again.
yeah. All right.
Not that.
One more time. We've got players up here. I'll move this up a little bit off to the side, right about there. And there's players. Now let's go Lady. And she's going to go in spells, Hypnotic Pattern. And now we see it right now, about 1.5 seconds. There it is. Sweet. So that's playing. Players right there. See it?
Yep.
Just did it. Okay. We went from here to here. That's what just happened. All right, sweet. So I'm going to call that fixed. Nice.
Yeah.
That makes the show better.
It does.
Just what I'm talking about. All right, scene switching to players. Check to see if tunnels or players are already active. Done. Saving throws for Entangle and Blight not rolled. Wild Magic. This is actually a bigger issue. I saw a situation, I've seen this a couple times, where Wild Magic gets in a loop. And I wanted to do code review to see if I can figure that out.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to do. God, I love that effect. There's some things we do on this show that I think are gorgeous, right? They make it look like we've got a team of, of designers, right? Working to build, awesome special effects and things like that.
It's just that they have a different name. They're called the voices in your head.
Yeah. They are. Okay, wait, hold on one second. This is actually unrelated to Wild Magic Repeated. This is fixed. We fixed that already. I think it was on, I think it was yesterday we fixed that. All right, Wild Magic is repeated. Let's do a code review and see what's going on with Wild Magic. Not looking forward to this, to be honest, because I don't think the code is straightforward. Although, Look at this. Look at the method I'm right beneath here. Roll Wild Magic Handler. This is different, actually. This is Wild Magic, but I want Wild Magic Check is what I want. So, so we're close, but let's see what we can find in here. Wild Magic Check. I got to roll Wild Magic Check command. I have a...
Your Dungeon Master command, but you've also got a void in DHDM Dungeon Master app.
This one right
I suppose
here.
those are collected.
This is the one I'm looking at right here. I want to start here. Roll Wild Magic Check. So, I think, let's do this, actually. Let's see if... should we also advertise Lady? Everything about her is not safe for work, though. Yeah. So true. So Lady is one of the players on the show, and but she's actually an actress. So Miles, the character that plays Miles, is an actor, and the character who plays Lady is an actress, and they both are still getting work, still working. So it's super cool to see what they're doing and talk about promoting them. Lady actually has done a lot of horror movies. Like she's kind of like a B movie actress. So she's great at that. So really fun to watch what she does. All right. So what I think I want to do is try to get it to duplicate and then set a breakpoint. Okay, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And see what if we can find out what's going on. It's very cool that you have real actors. Yeah, I'm down with that. I just like with everything, I'm just want everything perfect. Just trying to get everything perfect. That's all I'm trying to do, and I'm settling for better than mediocre. I'm just kind of like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
As long as each thing is better than it was, you're improving.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, Pudding says I'm a real actor too. Guy who plays Merkin. Let's see. Yeah, I guess. By the way, it reminds me of a time Karen and I were in like a building somewhere. It was like a public building, I think. And we were trying to find a room that we're supposed to be in. We opened it up, and it's clearly not where we're supposed to be. But both Karen and I recognize it as it's a director auditioning people for parts. we totally see it.
See, I know how this is going to go.
Yeah, there are sides. You know what I mean? They've got the parts that people read are there. They've got a camera up. They've got people behind the table, and they go in and they're like, "Are you actors?" And Karen's like, "Yes, we are." And she picks up and she reads, and she gets cast for the part, but has to turn it down because of some previous event or something like that. But that I'm not kidding you, that happened. Whereas I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. Let's see what you got for me, and I'll tell you if I want to apply or not. But Karen is absolutely all in 100%. It was so.
Is it strange that in no way surprises me at all?
Yeah, I know. No, you get it, right? But I was like, it was funny too, because when she said it, right, the autistic person in me wanted to be, well, actually, this is not where we're supposed to be. I'm out of here, right? That's what I wanted to say. But I was just quiet, right? I've been with Karen long enough, to know when this happens, you roll with it, Rory. You probably know that already, don't you?
I had the hunch that was how that story was going.
Karen has some input on the story. Rory would
Really?
know that. She shouted.
Rory would know that. You know who else would know that?
I-
Pretty much anyone else.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah, but not you. You're like, actually, we're not the recipients of that $1 million.
You see, I think that scenario is fantastic. It's exactly what should be done, but I don't know that I'd be as quick as Karen and actually in the moment think of going for it.
Wait, say that one more time, Rory, because Karen didn't have her earphones in.
I was just saying that's exactly the sort of way that scenario should play out. And I think I would want to do that, but I don't think I'd be quick enough to actually pick up on it and go.
Yeah, no,
If
it was.
one thing I am, it's quick. Rory.
It was incredibly impressive. She was like, "Why, yes, we are," and she starts picking up the sides and looking at them. Right? She's like, absolutely. And also, you've said this to me before, and I thought it was really kind of a fun way of living. But Karen's philosophy on life, at least in her 20s and 30s, was I'm
in Costa Rica, baby. So
I am always in the right place at the right time. I'm always in the right room at the right time. Doesn't matter.
Right. Even if everyone in that room hates me and wants me gone, then they definitely need my perspective in that room.
It's so good. Yeah, Karen's.
I get the feeling they're going to have it anyway.
That's right, Rory. See, Rory knows.
Yeah, Karen's knocking light switches on over here. There we go. No worries. So yeah, that was a fun story. So yeah, I'm not sure how we got down there, but I think what I want to do is let's see if I can get the thing repeating, and then let's figure out why. Actually,
reproducing the bug.
Yeah, this one actually is not the problem because this is if I tapped index reference here, I'm just going into the Dungeon Master app, and it doesn't even look like anybody's calling this. So that's not the problem here. We need to keep looking around here. Wild Magic D20 check. This is if we hit the radio button. What is this? Is magic? Nope. That's just to check to see whether we should be in magic or not. Nope. What's this? This is my activate. This is my dice roll. Prepare roll. So basically, it's just saying, hey, if it's a wild magic check. Where's that line of code? There it is. If it's a wild magic check, then we're just going to add some trailing spark effects to the die there. But I'm looking for something else. Can I bolt roll doubles? No. No. Are we in a full circle?
That looked like it.
That's not good. I'm expecting to see something
Where
else.
you were adding the sparks, there was also adding one to the count of magic checks that had thus occurred. So either it was being called by the thing that causes wild magic, or it was about to call.
This is just getting active player num wild magic checks. No, that's just something. This is counting how many wild magic, because each time we roll, we add an additional die. Until
Sure, but doesn't that effectively mean that you are... This is either called by the actual trigger, hence adding to the check,
True.
or about to call the code that does it?
Yes, it is. It is. So we could set a breakpoint here and be like, what's going on? Let's set a breakpoint here, I guess. We can try it. Well, actually, I want to get in the loop. I want to get in the loop first. Because the
There
loop,
is a if wild magic just below.
that's different. Wild magic check
Yeah.
is D20 check is different from a wild magic roll. I'll show you the difference between the two. So wild magic check. Check wild magic. Looks like this. 1d20 comes out the first time, 2 the second time, and you're checking for a 1 each time. So there's one, and here's a second one. If we roll a 1 on the wild magic check, then we can roll the wild magic, which is a D100.
Right.
And looks like this. And then based on that result, 74.
Someone gets poisoned.
And this is like, I think, how much damage or something like that. Ours poisoned, too. So that's what's going on there.
Okay. So one's the check, the other's the consequences.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let's start casting some spells. What you got? Why not use the 10K effects? What are you talking about? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Why not really pudding? So I'll explain why not pudding, as if I have to say pudding's trolling me right now. Okay, this is so, and you know why he's trolling me? And it's my fault, because Overkill Productions, Rory. But if I were to attempt to implement what he is suggesting, 10K wild magic effect, instead of having 100, rolling a D100. Hold on, where's the list? Here you go. You'd roll a D10,000. 10,000 different wild magic effects, right? If I were to attempt to do this, right, every single one of these, with rolls, special effects, all of that,
Yeah.
Karen would kill me, Pudding. Kill me. Also, how often are we going to need to use this, right?
Well,
she's coming.
10,000.
She's coming. She's coming. She's coming. Nothing, hun.
If you did what?
No, I was talking. Would you believe I was talking about another Karen?
No.
No, just no. Someone. No, I want to say. Somebody listen. Someone was trolling me and suggesting, why don't you do something really like over the top? I can't.
Pudding?
I can't reveal.
Pudding? Was it Surly Death?
That is
No.
an insightful woman you got there.
It was not Surly Dev. It was not Surly Dev. Don't look at the chat history. I've already.
Run, Pudding, run!
Not Pudding, says Pudding.
Wait, it says blame pudding. Smoothie says blame pudding.
Yeah,
I'm down for that, Smoothie.
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, I was Pudding. Pudding came up and said, instead of 100 wild magics, do the 10,000 list right here. These are also, some of these are really scary, by the way. Like they're permanent damage to your character. It's pretty insane, this particular book. There we go. I don't know. There's some that are minor as well, but they've got 10,000 different things that happen for wild magic. Crazy
The
thing.
sheer number of things on that list. You'd have to roll wild magic. I mean,
It can turn your
you're talking about multiple years of shows.
Exactly. No, definitely. It's like
It's clearly, more optimal just to have somebody, I don't know, interpretive dance the graphic on the spot.
yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
my scared character you start believing you are a reformed serial killer, really? So you're using this. Holy cow. I don't see the serial killer in here. Maybe there's something else. Killer. There's 7 of them there. Character is slain. The character dies. Killer is hailed as national hero. Yeah, I don't see that in here. Maybe there's something else. Serial killer. You start believing. That's crazy. We did for fun. Wow. pile of highly unstable goo. Pudding? Let's see if I can find that.
Some correlation there.
There it is. There you go. Caster's Nick summoning yields a puddle of highly unstable goo.
You conjure some pudding. There you go.
Yeah, so I could do the text version of this, but I could do it. We might do it for fun. Let's just say this, Pudding. I'm not going to do effects for every single one of these, but I think, and I'm probably not going to do 10,000 different voice recordings for each of these.
Probably.
But I do have voice recordings for all the other wild magics, the 100 or so. I think I have about those, or at least the ones that are. Yeah, no, I think I have voice recordings for all 100 of them. So we do it again one more time. Here, let's get rid of this guy. So that guy's not on screen, and we come in and say, let's do a wild magic roll. So again, I think you're going to hear a voice recording for this on this.
Teleport 20 feet. Bonus action.
Yeah. So there you go. I've got 100 different recordings. I'm not going to do 10,000. We could do it only text, but that's it. Or let's see if we can get let's cast some spells here, and see if we can get the loop to occur, and then we'll set a breakpoint if we can get it. Oh, we have a different bug here now.
Yes.
The bug is, unfortunately, I promised people I'd say in C#, so this is a TypeScript bug, but you hear the sound, it should be closing and opening,
Oh, yeah.
but it's not. And the only workaround is to click on somebody else, then come back, and then click on it, and now it works. I've still got that bug defined. Lightning lure is a cantrip, that's not going to help us. I need something that is not a cantrip. Yes, bolt not. It takes a while to cast that. Here we go, level 1. Let's cast that. So I cast that, and now we should see a wild magic roll. I don't see it. So check wild magic is not coming there. And this is actually, I saw another issue here. I thought I saw it. No, maybe not. Let's just mark this for now, at least while we're talking about wild magic not rolled. Wild magic check, not rolled, performed for detect magic. Oh, you know why though? Wait, there's a reason why, is because detect magic, if you look on the left in the scroll, it's got a little icon of a wand, magic wand next to it right there.
Yes.
And it's to the left of the cursor that I'm waving right now, so far left there.
Indeed.
That's detect magic is coming from wand, so I don't actually have to perform it.
So it's not you doing it so much as the wand is.
Yeah, exactly. Let's continue to explore the spells. Dimension door for sure. By the way, for dimension door, I want to. So there's the wild magic check. Let's see if we're in a loop, because we saw the loop before. Nope, apparently not. Let's try casting Fireball level 3, and then followed by immediately another one. Ooh, I did see a problem with detect magic. Detect
28 fire damage.
magic shows that we're concentration, but it's coming from a wand. And
Oh yes, it did.
All right, let's try one more time on that. Okay, now while this is happening, what if I throw out another one of these? No, that doesn't quite make sense. If I threw it out C4. Let's see, what if I did, I'm trying to get to the loop. That's what I'm trying to do, so we can examine the state.
46 fire damage.
Okay. Let's clear the dice. Wild magic doesn't come out next. What if I change the player at this point now? And maybe change it back. I'm wondering what is the trigger player? And nothing comes out. So we're still good here. I don't know. Let's take another character. What's this? Plus mod ID. Where am I? I'm in expressions. What's happening? Am I passing in the wrong expression? The wrong... Kyra7 is following. Thanks for that follow, Kyra7. I appreciate that. Glad to have you with us. That's the do call right there. What's the script? It's float player text dispelled. What was my problem? Ultimately here, invalid cast. I don't know the cast object of type magic to creature plus mod ID. That's coming from float player text. Here we go. Is this a real issue here or no? No, it is. If it contains the custom data. So we've got custom data that's been added that's magic. Maybe I want to do this. If variables is t, and I probably have to say it's a class, isn't it? Where t is, what do I do? Do I say class here? I forget what I do. Is that it?
Sure.
So I can do the is check down here. If it's of that, then we can do that, and then otherwise we're going to return t. I think that might be my problem.
I think you might have the where. Oh no, that's worked.
Yeah, it worked. It just was waiting to get in there. I think I'm going to do that because custom data could come from different places, and I just want to, if it's the right type, then we're going to bring it back, and otherwise we're not. All right, let's put this back down over here. And by the way, there's a UI problem with this. I should probably show this and explain this, talk about this. So if I take this out and I want to drag it in. Okay, so here we go. If I'm here and I'm dragging in like this, right? So this scenario,
yeah.
What's going on? See how this is tall like this?
Well, we've sort of got you in the way, Mark, to be honest. If you want to maybe stretch that bottom panel, make it
All right.
higher.
How about here? You can see that,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
okay.
I can see that.
All right. So it's kind of a problem, and I'll explain why in a second. Let me actually make this higher too, so you can see it here too. So we're coming in here. So we've got the here. Let's just put it here for now. We come and grab call stack, and we say we want to move it to the left. So we're coming from here, dragging to the right. As we're approaching right here, right, the width of this target in the direction we're moving the mouse is narrow. That requires a high degree of precision. This button size should actually be probably as big as this. The target size, right?
Yeah.
You've got room up and down to actually make it taller and bigger. And because right now it's too much precision required as I'm coming in here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Too much precision. All right. So anyway, that was that issue. Let's see, we've restarted. Let's go back in and try and do, get the bug going here. So Ray of Frost, is that right? That's a cantrip. That's not going to help. Spider climb can help. Level 2, cast spell. There's one. And I almost feel like what's rolling immediately. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. I'm kind of like button mashing to find the bug.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
More fire damage.
And let's clear those dice. And there it is. So that part's good. And if we can't duplicate it, I'm going to go back to code review again on this, is what I'm going to do. Also, I should be checking the time. because I said I had to leave early.
It's a good question. What
I
time
have
do
to
you have
leave
to be
it.
gone?
I should leave probably in about 7 minutes. Is what I should probably do. I have
Okay.
another. I'm speaking at a panelist on at a virtual UI conference, and so I'm got to go jump over to that in a few minutes. Start getting ready for that. Yeah. Oh, on this right here though, I had a really fun idea for Dimension Door. At Dimension Door,
Yeah.
when I cast it, you'll see the smoke come over me. Just when the
Mhm.
smoke come over me, at that point, I want to make myself disappear. And I thought, oh, I bet I can do that. I bet I can go. Wouldn't that be fun to see if OBS had the ability to find a particular camera input and turn it off just at the right time?
Yeah.
That would be a
That'd be
fun
good.
little challenge to do. Like right here, and I'm gone. Right, just for a little bit. Looks like I'm not. Looks like reproducing is going to be a little trickier than I thought. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I think we're in the middle of. I better button
Bludgeoning damage. 111 cold damage. 46 necrotic damage.
Do we have the roll? There it is. And then if it rolls after this, we're potentially in that loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not rolling. Okay, somewhere I got to find that. I got to go look and find that. I'm going to do this. We'll end the show now because we're kind of finished wrapping that up. Roy, thanks so much.
No trouble at all.
For your help. Let me get a raid going out here. Let's see who we're going to raid. I don't think I've ever rated Code It Live. I think. Talk shows and podcasts. Let's see what they're doing. Oh, wow, they've got a whole bunch of people? Let me listen into this. It's got React in the upper right.
And you said you're a third-year university student, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Well, you've really made the most out of this opportunity. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very fun experience, especially working with Ram, Neil, and Safal. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some comments from the chat as well. Yeah, my third year in university, I was building like the equivalent of GeoCity sites for the web, which...
All right, we're going to do it. We'll raid you guys out there. And there's the raid. All right, thanks again, Rory. We'll see you tomorrow.
No problem. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.